Hello, and if you are watching this on the day it is published, Happy New Year, welcome to 2019. It's time once again for my now traditional, if doing something 3 times can be called traditional, video about other YouTube channels that I enjoy watching. And the reason that I do this on New Year's Day is that I reckon you may well have been out or at least stayed up to bring in the new year and have a little celebration. So on New Year's Day, all anybody wants to do is just sit back, take it easy, maybe watch a little idle YouTube. And I reckon that if I can bring you perhaps some channels you haven't heard of, good channels that you will enjoy watching, then that's my little contribution to New Year's Day. I've got 5 channels for you, and I will invite you to leave a comment below with your own suggestions for enjoyable YouTube channels that we might want to watch. However, this year I'm going to put a couple of rules on that. First rule is no shameless self-plugging of your own channel, because that is just flagrantly shameless. Secondly, I think no narrowboating or boat channels. The idea here is to expand our horizons. So there are a plethora, of course, of great narrowboating channels, but in terms of finding new channels, let's steer away from anything boating oriented. And the final rule, if I can put it like that, for comments is I think we should stick to smaller channels, because if you post links to channels that have got 1 million subscribers or more, or 500,000 or whatever, well, they're probably pretty well known already and we don't need suggestions. But if you look at channels that have, say, 5,000 to 100,000, they're obviously good channels that have a popular fan base, but we may not have heard of them. So if you can suggest any along those lines, I think it will be better and more edifying for everyone. Right, with that out the way, let's turn to my top 5 channels that I enjoy watching at the moment. And the first one goes by the somewhat unlikely name of Slim Potato Head. I'm not making this up, and you will want to have a watch. I guarantee this is an absolutely terrific channel, and I'm so pleased that YouTube, in a rare moment of sanity, actually proposed it to me, because normally YouTube's recommendations are terrible. But Slim Potato Head, I will leave a link, by the way, to all my featured channels in the description below, is definitely a channel worth watching. So who is Mr. Potato Head and why should you watch? Well, he's a chap who has a foldable trailer tent caravan thing. I don't know what the correct technical phrase for it is. It's made by a company called A-Liner, and it's a thing you tow behind your car, and when you get to your destination you fold up the roof and the sides and you've got a little A-shaped caravan thing. And he makes videos about that, and they are videos on technical topics, there are hints and tips, there are videos about the places he goes camping. This is in America and Canada. And he also does just a kind of variety of videos, so not just places and tips and tricks, but he does some, I wouldn't call them comedy videos, but he has a fabulous sense of humour. It's I can't even begin to describe it. You will have to watch the video. He did this brilliant one all about how to go to the loo while camping, and although that doesn't sound appealing, honestly, it was terrific. The reason you should watch this, apart from the humour and the variety of topics, is that they are really well produced videos. They are filmed very well. Whether he's filming his own trailer or he's filming the scenery, Slim Potato Head knows how to handle a camera. So they're nicely composed, they're in focus, the shots are held well, the editing is great, there's none of this waving the camera around, you know, that just makes you feel seasick. Really nicely produced videos. But what really elevates this to a whole other level, and this is so rare on YouTube, Slim Potato Head is a storyteller. He actually knows how to craft a video. I mean, anyone can pick up a camera and learn how to hold a shot. Anyone can get a copy of iMovie and just about learn how to edit. That's all stuff anyone can do. But to be a storyteller, that's, I think, more of an innate skill. And Slim Potato Head has it in spades. So he will start the video here and he'll say, here's the scenario. And then his His narration and his pieces to camera will guide you through from here to here to here to here, and it's a continuous flow that eventually takes you to the end of his videos. Very hard to describe, but once you've watched a few, you will know what I mean. He is a master storyteller. It is so rare on YouTube, especially coupled with knowing how to actually film and edit, and it makes his videos an absolute joy. When there's a notification on my YouTube subscriptions that Slim has published a video, I will go and watch it. Go, once this video is finished, go click on the link below and have a look. I guarantee you will not be disappointed. My choice number 2 is a little closer to home here in the UK, and it is Kent Survival. Now, I'm not a prepper. I'm not one of these people who thinks the apocalypse is coming and I need to carry all sorts of stuff with me and learn bushcraft skills and whatever. But I do enjoy some of these prepper type videos. People in the outdoors, they're camping, they're lighting fires, they're doing bushcraft, they're showing you them building huts and shelters and so on. And Kent Survival is one of those channels. Now, I used to live and work in Kent, so this is probably why the video caught my eye, or perhaps YouTube knew and put one up, because the very first video from Kent Survival I saw was one where he was down at Dungeness, which is, technically, I think, Britain's only desert. It's a pebbly landscape beach, very windswept, very dry, obviously being a desert. You've got Dungeness nuclear power station down there. It's a very unusual landscape, and he put together this video of him camping down at Dungeness. And quite apart from anything else, he's got great sound. It's windy as all heck down at Dungeness, and where many YouTubers would go, "Oh, sorry about the wind noise." Oh no, not Kent Survival. He's got a proper windjammer, and the sound quality was excellent. But not only the sound quality. Again, this is someone who knows how to film. He can point the camera, frame a shot nicely, it's in focus, nice editing, and he goes to the effort, which so many people, including myself on occasions, do not do, of bothering to get all those extra little shots that, when put into a little sequence, tell you a tale. So, for example, it may sound trivial, but he'll put the camera down, set it to record, and then walk past it so he gets the walking shot of his feet. And then, just think of the effort involved in this. Having put the camera, walked past it, he then runs back to the camera, moves it, gets a different shot, walks past it again, so you now get the full height, him walking. And although it sounds ridiculous, when you put those little shots together, it gives you the sequence. Here's a man walking into the woods, and it sets the scene. But the effort you have to go to as a single-handed camera person to do all this, constantly put the camera down, set the scene, does it look right, now walk across it, run back, have a look at the shot, did it work, no, do it again. Oh, it's such a lot of extra effort for 2 seconds on screen, but if you do it, it makes it worthwhile. And Andy, for that is his name, does make that effort, and he knows how to shoot, and he knows how to edit, and he knows how to do audio. So again, it's a quality channel, and there's quite the mix of things he does. Not only the aforementioned bushcraft and setting up his camp, he does these strangely compelling ration reviews where he gets army rations from around the world, opens them up and has a look at what a ration pack consists of, then cooks it up on his bushfire and tells you what it's like. Some of them are 30 years old, some of them are modern. It's just one of those things you could only find on YouTube. You'd think, that's not a real thing. But it is. Apparently there's loads of people doing these. And he does them very well. Very engaging. I've never met the man, but he seems like a nice chap. You're watching his videos and thinking, do you know what? I'd like to be there, sharing a cup of tea over that fire with this nice chap. So that's Kent Survival. Link down in the video description below. Choice number 3 is the walking equivalent of my Notta vlogs, I think I would say. It's a chap called John Rogers. He's a subscriber to my channel, and he lives in London, East London, I think. And he makes these very nice, very soothing walks, which he films around different bits of London. And he knows his subject, he knows his places, and if he doesn't, he goes and researches it so that he really knows what to tell you about. And what you end up with are these 20-minute, whatever, videos of him doing a walk. For example, the one I'm going to link to below was him looking at the rivers in East London. And I think, again, that's probably why YouTube put it in front of me, because there were boats and it knows I live on a boat, blah, blah, blah. But what you end up with is this tremendously relaxing, calming, stress-relieving, lovely walk with grass and trees and boats and the landscape. I mean, it's not all grass and trees. He does walk through the urban environment as well. But it's something you can put on with a cup of tea, sit back and let John be your tour guide. And it's just so soothing. It's like John is reaching into your skull and gently massaging your brain. Again, very nicely filmed, well put together, good use of music, some beautiful shots. Just, as I say, the equivalent of watching a canal, not a vlog, but walking. You can just let yourself be enveloped by this video and you're almost along for the walk. You can smell the grass and hear the trees. It's very good stuff. Link in the video description below to John's channel. My fourth choice might come as somewhat of a surprise, since I live and drive a boat that has a great big diesel engine in it, belching out diesel fumes. But I'm watching EV Man, who is a chap who is very interested in electric cars. He's got an electric car. I think he's got more than one electric car. He's certainly tested many electric cars. And the reason I enjoy this over the many, many other channels on YouTube that are all about electric vehicles, I mean, I know there's Fully Charged and others like that, but EV Man is passionate about his subject, and he seems to know his subject. To be fair, I know very little about electric vehicles. He could be talking complete tosh and I wouldn't know any better, but he seems to know his subject, let's put it like that. And he certainly is very passionate about it. He's got a very engaging way about doing his videos. And whilst, as I say, I drive a diesel boat, I've got a diesel van and a petrol car, I have no prospect of having an electric vehicle myself in the immediate future because charging would be a problem, yada, yada, yada. I haven't got the money anyway. I do think they are obviously the future. I mean, you can argue about how the actual electricity should be stored, battery packs, blah, 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 but we'll all be in electric cars at some point. So it is of interest to me. And as I say, his passion and enthusiasm for the subject really comes across in his videos. And he's got a good sense of humour as well. He did this lovely video, which is the one I'll link to below, where he took out a Renault Twizy, it must be Twizy, mustn't it? Which, if you don't know, is a funny little four-wheeled go-kart thing developed by Renault. And he decided to see how practical it was for day-to-day use, including giving it a jet wash. Now, the thing hasn't got any proper doors on it, so the man's not a fool. He put his girlfriend, wife, partner in the car and then sprayed it with a jet wash and filmed her reactions. It was very nicely done. And so if you have an interest in electric vehicles and you're unaware of him, definitely worth a watch. That's EV Man. My final channel suggestion is one that I have mentioned before over on my van channel, but I make absolutely no apologies for mentioning it again. Greg Virgo. He is a mechanical engineer by trade, but he's recently bought and self-converted a van into a camper van. And what sets Greg apart from the 10 billion other van building channels on YouTube is that he seems to know what he's doing. He's researched his topic immensely. He conveys the research really well. It's slow but not slow, boring slow, slow as in you can take in what he's saying slow and it all makes sense. Perhaps better paced would be a better description of it. And he's covered insulation, electrics, plumbing. Even if you're not interested in van building, a lot of it is actually relevant to boats, whether it's narrowboats or any other sort of boat, or minimal living in houses. All this DIY stuff, 12-volt systems, plumbing, water storage. It's all very good and it's very well presented. It's just the compendium of videos if you're doing any sort of self-build for an off-grid dwelling, whether it's van, boat, hut, whatever. He really knows his stuff. There's just this wealth of information if you go back through his videos. His channel is growing at a huge rate already, and having finished his van build, he and his wife are about to go off on a year, I think it's a year-long trip, all around Europe. They will be vlogging that as well. I can only absolutely suggest that it's going to be a brilliant set of videos, and I imagine not only as well as the travel videos, there will be updates on how well his van build is working out for them as they travel. So go and have a look at Greg. It's just super stuff, and as I say, relevant if you are even in a boat or whatever, not even considering doing a van build. Those are my top 5 other video suggestions. I must be honest, YouTube's been a bit thin on the ground for really good channels for me to watch this year. When I was trying to compile this, I was looking back, and there's lots of stuff I've watched, and there's lots I think, alright, they're alright, I'll give them a watch. But in terms of really top quality stuff, I haven't really found that many, so hopefully 2019 will bring some along. Hopefully you can suggest some in the comments below, bearing in mind what I said earlier. It's nicer to have comments suggesting channels that I wouldn't have heard of rather than the big ones, I think. Anyway, I'll stop talking there. I will wish you Happy New Year, all the best for 2019, and here's to many happy travels wherever you're going, wherever I'm going in the coming year. Cheerio.